Hey everybody, and welcome to the video. So, I am not a hardcore POE Diablo type of guy and don't have much experience with it, but I really wanted to take some time to play it and try it out, and I've become obsessed, and I'm loving POE. So, what I wanted to do was make a bunch of builds, very beginner friendly, very simple, easy to use, so that I could show this to people who want to see it and they can learn. These are not min-maxed. These are not expertise. I barely understand half of the systems in this game. This is just a really basic, get you through the campaign, allow you to do endgame type builds. So with further ado, let's launch the game. So let me just swap so I can see. Also, one thing I'll point out, as you can see here, we are currently 167 hours of the game, so we have invested a fair bit of time, and now we're going to launch. I'm just going to swap over to here. Now you can see me. How you going? Why can't you see? Oh, hang on. Path of Exile 2. There we go. We now have actual screen so you can see what's going on. Might just turn down the volume a bit for me because it's a bit loud in the headset. Alrighty. So we're going to log in and I'm going to show you a bunch of different characters that I've got. As you can see, I've done a few different ones. Not all of them have made it to the end game yet, but I'm working on it. So I'll at least show you the ones that I've done. So we'll start with my first character, which is currently a level 70 Warbringer. Yeah, let's talk about fucking Warrior. I'll wait for the game to load and then we can go into detail talking about the stuff to do with Warrior as not just a character but as a class. Alrighty. So currently we are in the end game. I'll just show you. So we're here in the end game. So the start, the way the build works is pretty much that we have our mace here, which is going to do explosion damage. And basically the idea is every time we hit something, we should be trying to kill it. So if we go, obviously it's under-leveled, but I just want to show like the basics of the idea of how the game works without being stuck, doing maps for a long period of time. Just so I can show you like the basic premise of it. So we have a few different attacks, but pretty much I will let's find some enemies and I will show you what we do when we can. Alright, so we got enemies here. Literally smack, explosion, kills all of them, stuns this guy, hit him, do another explosion, hit him, explode. That's pretty much the build. Is literally just finding enemies, smacking them with our mace, doing explosion damage, and that's pretty much all that we are doing. Now, we do have some different abilities that we can use, which I might demonstrate. So the first classic one is you got Sunder, as you can see. Pretty decent AoE type ability, which is great slam. You've got Leap, which is kind of cool. You can use to cover some good distance. Bone Shatter, which is that move there, which basically will cause all enemies that are stunned around me to die. Then we've got our little totem. So this totem here is just good because we can use it to like break a lot of armor. The other one that we've got as a build is called Hammer of the Gods. Alright, so he's chasing me. Let's see if I can get him. Alright, he... Bang, drops, hammer, kills everything. And that's pretty much the build. Now, the idea behind it is that when you're fighting like groups of enemies, you want to just smack them with the mace and it's going to do a lot of damage really quickly. But if you're playing as in like here, see if we can get them all in a circle, one hit, bang, explosion, bang. These guys are a bit stronger. As you can see, that was a magic guy, but pretty much we just like fucking shit up pretty quick. Here we go, a few more, get them in the circle, explosion, 4 enemies dead in 1 hit. And that's pretty much how the build works. So we're going to go back to base. just so I can go into more detail about the gems and the items and all that kind of shit. So we're just gonna let this load. Alrighty. Now that we're back, if we go to the, we'll start with gems. All right. So gems, basically, this is we've got a few different abilities that we're running. So first, you've got your Mace Strike, which is basically the best move as a warrior that you've got because it's doing pretty high DPS. We do have an extra slot if we want to put something in. I haven't. You definitely can, but at this point, I haven't. I'm not really playing this build that much anymore. I'm doing other ones, so if I want to come back to it at some point when they make armor better, then I definitely will do that. So, first move we've got is Armor Explosion. So, Armor Explosion is great because that's what's going to cause the trigger of every time enemies connect, boom, cause everything to go on fire. Then we've got Fire Infusion, just increases our fire damage. And then we've got Magnified Effect, which basically means that that skill is going to cover 40% more area of effect. Next move, you just got Sunder, staple, which is basically, the gems we got for this is Fist of War. Support slams, you use your self-provided powerful ancestral boost every second. It's basically, this move is going to get boosted by our ancestral skills. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. As you can see, this tells you skills has 20 more. Oh no, it just says that it has 20% more damage and area effect, which is pretty good. Concentrated effect, again, increases our area of damage, and then this does super critical, which support skills have 100%. It basically increases our critical bonus, so that's pretty good. Hammer of the Gods, you then got Lacerate, which has a chance to inflict bleeding. We've then got Exploit Weakness, basically helps with breaking armor and all that kind of stuff, and then you've got Heft, which do 30% more physical damage. That's what we want. This build is all about physical damage. Other moves you've got are Infernal Cry. Infernal Cry is basically a buff that's going to cause you put fire on you to deal more damage, and then we want these skills to increase damage. So Premeditation, extra 15% damage. Raging Warcry grants 4 rage per 5 power of counter enemies in range. Basically gives you rage. Rage is good because it increases your physical damage. And in Rage Warcry, support Warcry is 10 rage, causing attacks empowered by them. Basically, the more rage, we empower it. 30% more damage is what you want. Other skills that we've got now is Herald of Ash. Basically means, while activities overkills with attacks will cause an explosion that ignites. Basically, when you kill other enemies in one shot, it causes an explosion. Then mixed with our armor explosion, and then the splash damage that comes from our mace, all combined together is very nice fire ignite skills. With this, we put precision, increases our accuracy. We've then put cannibalism, which means we get 4% life per kill while skills in. This is really great. It's hefty price for 15 spirit, but it's really, really good. Fire mastery, again, we're just doing, as you can see, that 1+ level from support. That's what this is doing. That causes that. Next, you've got Time of Need. Time of Need is pretty good. It basically gives you like a blessing that heals you every like 10 seconds or whatever. And then we just put fast forward because it means that the duration is going to be a bit quicker. Ancestral Totems. This is a pretty good one, especially if you like totems. Putting this armor break on basically means that the ability... So the Ancestral Totem basically copies your character, and the move that you put in there is the move that it will do. So basically, every time it hits, it's breaking armor, which again is what we want. We put Font of Rage, objects created by support skills, create a Font of Rage with 3 meters radius. Stationary objects created by the soldier generated from creating an aura which grants rage over time. Again, more rage. Rage is good. Physical damage, what we want. Next, Splinter. Hit those causing hits to break armor based on proportion physical damage dealt. Basically means you can break armor easier. Again, what we want. Leap Slam. I don't use this as much, mainly just for hopping around the map, but it's still good. Mushroom Tempo. Again, attack speed, rage. Again, rage, physical damage. Good. And then bone, we've got impact shockwave. So I use this because I really like it because it heavily stuns and it helps with like creating a shockwave. When you hit people with bone shatter, it's gonna like cause stuff to shatter, explode, damage, dead. And then brutality, just because it adds, as you can see here, 35% more physical damage. These are pretty much all the skills and gems we want to use, at least at this point in the build. You can probably change stuff later, but again, it's up to you what you feel like doing. Alright, we're gonna go look at our gear next. Now, looking at our gear that we've got here, there is nothing particularly special about any of these items. The stuff that you're looking for as a core is resistances, life. Resistances, life. You want these numbers to all be at least 75. Really. A bit of chaos damage is nice, but pretty much we want 75, 75, 75 split altogether. That's basically what you want. When it comes to stats here of what to take, you basically want as much armor as you can get. Armor right now is kind of shit, which is why this is not a great class to pick. But if you can get it working and put up with the pain in the ass that this build is, it can become really fun and really good. It is definitely worth doing. Your charms don't really matter, but shock is pretty nice to have as immunity. So we just take that. And again, just resistance is life. Extra strength is nice. When it comes to your ruins, you pretty much want, again, resistances. And for the weapon, you want... accuracy is good. It just depends on what you've taken. I had a point where I needed more accuracy, so I took more accuracy. We also then want to make sure that you're putting Iron Ruin pretty much on most things because it's going to give you more either physical damage by 20% per ruin or 20% increased armor, evasion, energy shield. I wouldn't recommend using Iron in gear that isn't a weapon because you will find that it's not that it's a waste a bit and they don't drop all the time, so you definitely want to keep them, especially if you do multiple characters. The main thing that you want to look for is with your weapon. This is really important. Hang on, I just want to keep this. This value here, strike deals splash damage to targets within 1.8 meters, unscalable. This stat right here, you will find with every one of the advanced cultist great hammers. This is what we need for this build. If you do not have this, this build won't work in the sense of armor explosion and killing everything at once. So you need this. It's incredibly important. And yeah, that's basically that part. And now we're going to look at our passives. So, look at the skill tree. First off, I'll talk about the ancestries. So, you want to take Warbringer, and you want to grab these. Now, I haven't done my third ascendancy yet. I might at some point come back and play this class more and do it, but as warriors right now, it's too much effort and it's not worth it. So, when you get your points, first you want to take this, which is 25 increased armor break, and Anvil's weight, which breaks armor equal 10% of hit damage. Again, breaking armor, basically what we want to do. And then, again, an extra 25% armor break, and this one, you can break an enemy's armor to below 0. Again, really good, because once we break the armor, they will explode. So you definitely want to take these skills. Okay, first off, so we're looking at the skill tree. There's a couple of different ways you can go when it comes to skills, because I know this is very daunting. What I recommend first is you want to come down here, take 10% melee damage, 8% melee damage, melee damage, melee damage, melee damage. Then when we get to here, when you've got stun build up melee, you can go here and take this, but as you can see, this is armor break. You're not going to do armor break very early on. So what I recommend you do is go this way. Increases your armor, gives you more armor, and life regeneration, and plus 10 strength, which is always good. So then we're going to come this way. We're pretty much always going to be taking strength, maybe a little bit of dex and int as you need it for different skill gems, but basically strength is what you want. It gives you more life, which is always good. From there, what we want to do is come down this way. Now you can, again, you can grab these. But again, you don't need these straight away for our build at the early stages. You just want to come down here. Right? Now, you can go this way if you want. These are quite good skills, but we don't really want them this early in the game. So we're going to go this way. So come down here, this way, here. And then the first skill, major skills that you want to be taking are single purpose, this one. Because it's going to do, again, reduces your attack speed, but it gives you 40% increased damage to two-handed weapons. Now, something I didn't say before. We're a warrior. We want to be doing as much damage as fast as possible. Make sure that you take a two-handed weapon. You can use a shield with a one-handed weapon, or you can dual wield. Those are options. I think that's shit. We're a fucking warrior. We want to be killing stuff fast. So, two-handed weapon, more damage. So we'll take these skills first. You can then go to the other side if you like, but again, it's up to you. But importantly, take this set here. Then we're going to keep moving down. Move down this way. Now, you can grab these skills if you want, but I would suggest head down this way, travel here, put whatever kind of gem you want in here. There's nothing specific that I've got here that you need for the build, but like this gives us a 1 rage on melee hit and allows us to penetrate fire resistant, which is good. Is a good gem. Solid. You want to come here, grab this. Again, 14% increase with damage, 14%. And this gives us 10% chance to aftershock, slams with maces, and strikes. These quite good. And then grab this for an 8% chance to aftershock after the slams. So that's really good too. Then after that, you can make your way up here if you want. But again, I wouldn't recommend it straight away. Once you've done that, and you've taken these skills, it's up to you. You can come back and take some of these. However, what I would recommend you do is come back, once you've done that, come this way, and you want to head down here. You want to grab this, just 1 rage or melee hit. Come up this way. We then want to take a couple of these. Now, we want to take these center nodes. So you've got this one, again. Now, this is all about armor. This is physical damage. Break 40% increased armor, 25% physical damage. Now, these are really good, but I wouldn't stress too much about taking them straight away, simply because at this point, we're not, because you're probably early game, a bit more mid game now, but you're not actually doing that kind of damage. Like, you're not breaking armor probably yet, so I wouldn't worry about this until you're actually breaking armor in the build. Next, you've got then this, which allows you to inflict a bit of bleeding, which is nice. Nothing too flash hot, but it's nice to grab just for like bosses and doing extra damage. Next, then you've got these skills. You definitely want to take this because look, 12% with two-handed, 12%, 12%, 12%, 12%. This gives you 15% area attack plus 10 strength, 15% accuracy and 10 dex, and then this is giving us reduced attack speed but stun build up and increase damage by 40%. That's really good. So you want to take all of these. Pretty much once you've done that, you pretty much have a couple of different options you can go. They're probably the major things you want to take. You can come back and take any of these that you haven't grabbed already. Like, as you can see, these are quite good. This is armor breaking stuff though. So again, you want to make sure you have at least Act 2 done the first second trial, so you're actually breaking armor is part of your build. Again, this stuff is nice. Nothing too flash hot. This is if you want extra 25 strength. If you need more strength, good way to do it. Just take this. But another thing we want to make our way up here, and we want to grab these nodes. Again, this is good armor breaking nodes. But again, at this point in the game, if you're not breaking armor in your build yet, and you haven't done this ancestry points, then there's really no point of taking it. So this is pretty much what you want to do. This is what the final build will look like for the most part when it comes to your passives. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you, sorry, wrong button. No, that's right. Sorry, I feel like there was something else that I needed to explain. Oh, no, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you... Okay, there's one last thing that we need to look at, and that's basically the build done. So, I don't know if this is going to work. Yeah, okay, hang on. Oh, sorry. I want to show you all the skills. If I go to here, will it show me all of them? Okay. It doesn't show us all because some of these are coming soon. But, you know, we make do. So, when it comes to skills you want to grab early game, first skills you want to grab are you going to have Rolling Slam, and then you're going to have Earthquake. These are probably two skills you will run with quite a while. From there, you pretty much then want to grab Infernal Cry, then Shockwave Totem. Armor Break is nice, but again, I wouldn't stress too much about grabbing that one. From here, there's pretty much nothing I would worry about until you get Leap Slam. Then you don't really need to worry about anything, and then you want to go for Sunder. Stampede is an okay skill, which you can take if you want to take it, but I wouldn't stress too much about taking Stampede. It's alright, but it's if you want something. And then our final skills will be Ancestral Warrior, which will replace our Shockwave Totem. Sunder will replace Earthquake, and then you'll add Hammer of the Gods. And that's pretty much the build of what you need to know for playing the Warrior. It's a fun build, and it can be good, but the first 3 acts are quite challenging, so it does take a while for it to take off, but once it does, it's a load of fun. It definitely needs some more time in the oven to get better, but we'll see what happens over time, and hopefully Grinding Gear Games will find a way to make Warrior feel more balanced. Alright, next build that I want to show off is going to be my Witch Hunter. Now, this is probably the build that I would say is my main right now. Probably my best build overall in the game. The one I'm doing in-game maps with. It's a pretty good build. So, this is basically a running gunning shocker type build using shock and lightning to do damage. So, let's start with, I'm going to show you the skills that we've got. So, we've got crossbow shot, which is okay. It's a good standard, like, easy left click skill. I don't use it that much, but it's there if you need it. I just put on piercing. Again, it just allows the projectile to sail through stuff. It's not too bad. Then you've got execute. Again, deals 40% more damage on hits. And then 50% chance to poison. I like a little bit of poison, so I put that in there. Nothing too hot about these. They're nice. Next, you've got Sorcery Ward. I will show you how to get this later on. But basically, this makes a protectual barrier. That means that elemental damage will affect you before it affects you, like your energy shield, your life mana. Like, it will protect you in other ways. So it's definitely good. And we just put Cold Mastery, Fire Mastery, and Lightning Mastery in there. Next, we've got Galvanic Shards. This is our bread and butter of the build. This is your main attack that does most of our damage. Basically, it converts 40% of physical damage to lightning damage. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah, converts 40% of physical damage to lightning damage. Does knockback, fires 6 projectiles. It's pretty good. Chains everything together. It's a lot of fun. For this skill, we've put in Lightning Infusion. 20% damage is extra lightning. Again, very good. Then you've got Conductor. Again, increases our chances to shock. Again, great. Then you've got this, which again is Fork, which projectiles from supported skills fork. Projectiles from supported skills deal 50% less damage after forking. But, like, what does forking actually mean? Supported projectile skills making their projectiles fork. So if we go fork, projectiles that split into 2 more times. Basically, it means it splits out more, so it's more aligned to hit everything, which is quite good. And then our last one is just lightning exposure. Lightning exposure for 8 seconds on shocking an enemy. Basically, inflicts lightning, all that kind of stuff. Next, we've got shock burst rounds. This is, again, another bread and butter skill. These are really the 2 main skills of this build, and it's all you need to run to basically make this work. And for here, we've put in Concentrated Effect. Sorry, I can't fucking read. Which basically, area effect damages up, but it has a less of aura, which is fine. This skill doesn't really have that. Next, we've got Permanent Armament, which again, Spork Tilt does 25% more weapon elemental damage, which is good. Because for this build, you want physical damage, lightning damage, shock, that kind of stuff. And then we just Elemental Focus, which is going to give us 25% more elemental damage, which is very good as well. Now, a couple other skills we've got is Emergency Reload. This is a nice skill. It's not You won't use it that much. It's not super critical, but it's nice and it's good to have there. And again, 15% more damage and then increases its cooldown rate. Again, it's quite nice. Now, after that, there's a couple other skills we've got. Volt Turret Mark. Basically what this skill does is you will mark a target, and when you kill them, it puts out an explosion of electricity. And the reason we want this is because it gives it like 50% more chance at shock, marks 30% chance increased effect on marked enemies. It's very good, especially if you're like getting surrounded and you need to get rid of people quick. Mark a target, kill him, kills everything. Conductivity, this is a very good skill, especially against bosses, because what you're going to do is you're going to put this on the ground. The boss is going to get hit by this. It's going to basically help break down their lightning resistance. So then we can like pump galvanic shards, get them all lightning based, and then you can throw down get them all lightning based, let them freak out, and then you can just easily kill them. For this, we've just put down Focus Curse, because this is a curse. And it basically, like, makes it more quickly. Being cast, 25% increase, we want to increase effect. And then this is just persistence. Again, more skill effect duration is what we want. Other skills we've got is Attrition. This is a good skill, however, it's quite expensive with Spirit. And you want to use it only when you're fighting either uniques or bosses. I've got it there. I don't really ever use it because half the time I forget to turn it on before the boss anyway. But it's nice to have there if that's what you want. Next skills go. Okay, so we got a few spirit gems here. So the first one is a Herald of Thunder. So while active, killing shocked enemies with attack damage will cause subsequent attacks hit to release lightning bolts which deal attack damage to all surrounding enemies. Basically, as far as I understand, it means you're more likely, when you kill something with electricity, it's going to, like, shock other enemies as well and spread that shock around. Again, works really good with galvanic shards. And for this, we've just put Shock Siphon, recover 4% energy shield when a support skill deals a killing blow to a shocked enemy. Pretty good. Lightning Penetration, again, is going to give penetrate 30% lightning resistance, which is good because it's going to help get through any lightning resistance that enemies have as well, especially when you connect it with this as well, which is nice. And then Innovate, which attacks gain 30% damage lightning damage for 3 seconds on killing a shocked enemy with support skills. Again, it's going to help with our shocked, do more damage. It's what we want. The next one is Wind Dancer. So the way Wind Dancer works is you'll get like 3 little, as you can see here, these 3 little bars, and there's a little, like, you see how it looks like smoke or little shadows around me? It basically means if I get hit, things will bounce off me instead of me taking damage. Really good. And then for that, we've just put Maim. So basically causing them to maim enemies. Maim just means they suffer slower movement speed and they lose some of their evasion. Magnified Effect, again, 40% more area of effect, and then Precision, it gives us more accuracy. Never hurts to have something like that equipped, because more accuracy means we're not going to miss our targets, and we're going to do more damage. And that's pretty much the build. Now, if we go into our stash, I just want to grab gems, and I want to show you how we've taken our skills. So, there are a whole bunch of different skills here that you could take. What I recommend early on is you want to take Fragment Rounds, a Explosion Grenade, and Permanent Frost. Now, this is pretty good early on. Eventually, you'll get rid of this, and you'll basically just run Fragment, Frost, Explosion, and you'll run that until you can get Galvanic Shards. You will then make this more of a secondary skill, and you'll just run this. The problem with Galvanic Shards is if you're surrounded by enemies, it's great and it does good damage, but once you're more in a one-on-one situation, you're going to struggle a bit, and that's when going back to Fragment Rounds is pretty good, or using like Explosion Grenade, Flash Grenade, even Gas Grenade is helpful. Like, I just kind of threw them on early, just so we could get some help doing some more early damage, work with the build, make it easier, all that kind of stuff. After that, pretty much we don't want any of these skills, really. You want none of these. We don't want anything until we grab Shock Burst Rounds. Again, this is basically going to be our single target / boss killer. Awesome. I'll show you how it works. It's fucking sick. Next things you can do, and then you can take emergency reload. It's good. You don't need to take it though. It's entirely up to you. And then from then, there's really nothing else you need to take. Now, you could take Plasma Blast if you want. However, I found that it's really slow and it's kind of not worth it. So I didn't find it that effective, so I don't touch it. And that's basically the build. But pretty much one thing I will say is you will find that early on it can be a little tricky, because while our boy here, Galvanic Shards, is great against small enemies, when you get to the bosses, that's when it's going to be a bit more of a struggle town, and you might need to find that you just got to fire off grenades, shoot as much as you can, and try to do as much damage until you can get Shock Burst rounds, because that's a fucking game changer. Alright, let's look at our passives. Actually, no, I'll look at the gear first. So, again, with our gear, nothing special. It's pretty much the same. You want movement speed, evasion, energy shield, dex, life, resistances. Pretty much all that you want. But as always, your main focus should be life, resistances, life, resistances, life, resistances. That's pretty much the main thing you need to understand. When it comes to rings, again, we've taken these ones because we want more elemental resistances. Rarity also is good. It will help with drops, with you getting currencies and stuff like that. When it comes to what we want from our weapon, again, iron is good. We want more physical damage. Because the way that Galvanic Shards works is it takes the number of your total damage, and then it takes 40% of that into lightning damage. So as an example, if I got an enemy and I fire and I do 100 damage to it, Galvanic Shards turns 40% of that physical damage into lightning damage, which means you're basically doing 60% physical, 40% lightning. That's how that works. So increasing our physical damage is better than trying to increase our lightning damage, because again, you're talking about 60% versus 40%. Which one's the bigger number, you know? So that's basically how that works. With the gear itself, again, none of these items are special. None of them are uniques. You can easily find this stuff grinding for this. There's nothing unique. I haven't traded. I haven't bought anything for any of these builds. It's very easy for you just to make these builds work by playing it. That's something I also wanted to make sure that I did, and I should have said so earlier, is I don't use trading. And the reason I don't use it is I kind of think it's like cheating. Because if I'm trading for gear, right, it basically, like, the whole point is that the gear is random. If I can just trade for it, why make it random? Why not let me just, like, buy gear from a vendor that's specific to what I want with the different modifiers that I want? Like, it's a bit weird. I don't really get the point of trading, personally, but I'm also not a hardcore player, so maybe this is just not something that I get. And that's fair enough. So, skills. Now, Ancestry, you want to take the Witch Hunter. We then want to grab two things. So, first thing you want to grab is this one called Zealous Inquisition. Basically, when we kill an enemy, there's a 10% chance that when you kill an enemy, they're going to explode. Really cool. Great thing. Very good, especially against like the weaker mobs. Great. After that, you want to take Sorcery Ward, which now, the problem with Sorcery Ward, sorry, I'll show you, is that it does cause your evasion and energy shield to go down, right? But, as you can see, also, don't do this. These numbers are really bad. We need our resistances to be better with our gear. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to work to make them better, but right now they're pretty bad. When it comes to stats, we basically want whatever we need to make the build work, but Dex should be your main focus. Inta's the side. The only reason I have this much intelligence is because I needed that so I could get Grim Feast working, which I forgot to tell you about before. Grim Feast makes it so when we kill enemies, a little spirit appears, and basically it will refill our energy shield, which is very important because energy shield is the best defense in the game. Alright, now, talking about actual skills. So this is where it's a little tricky, because technically down here, this is the mercenary tree. We don't really want to touch mercenary tree for this build that we're doing. If you want to do a grenade build, you definitely should look into it. Oh no, it's Alex. Great YouTuber. He does some POE stuff. He has a really cool grenade build. Works really well. Look at his stuff. Definitely helpful if you want more information about that. Anyway, if you want this type of build to run and gun, here's what you want. So first off, you want to start by this. We want projectile damage, attack speed, attack speed, attack speed, projectile. Now, once we've taken this, basically what we're going to do is we want to move into the ranger archery tree. And we're just going to take these. Again, just take this stuff as you need it. Whatever stat you need to use the gems that you need. Basically, we want to take this, which is blur. Again, helps with movement speed and evasion and dex. Accuracy, projectile speed, attack speed, dex. And this is just pierce and 10% pierce, which is all really good. So we want to take all these. Once that's done, you're going to start to come down here. Go all the way down here. We then want to go left, then down here. And this is where the build really starts to come together a bit more. We want to take this, which is 12% elemental damage, which basically means our lightning damage is going to do more, which is great because we're a lightning build. Then grab this, and look how good this is. It basically increases our chances for any of this stuff to build up when we fire it, which is great because our build is all about shock. And 25% increase for it to build is awesome. From there, you want to grab this. You probably want to grab this as well. Again, damages elemental resistances 15% more. Really good. Then we're going to come down here, grab this one. 30% increased chance to shock and penetrate 15% lightning resistance. Great. Come down here, grab this. More lightning damage. Now, lightning rod. This is probably the core ability in the build. And basically how this ability works, and I'm, again, not an expert, but I believe how the idea, from how it's been explained to me, is the way that it works is you take the ability, right? You roll. When you attack, it basically does a roll, right? And it does a multiply to figure out how much damage you're going to do. So I believe how it works. If you do an attack that is not a critical, it rolls those numbers, looks at the two, and then picks whichever number is higher. And that's what damage you do. Super OP, awesome ability. Take this as soon as you can. Come down here, grab this stuff, come down this way, grab the jewel. Again, energy shield, mana, resistances, really good. Now, you could come down and take these. However, I've heard that these aren't that good. So I wasn't sure, so I didn't take them, but it's up to you if you want to. You probably should at least take this for 12% and get increasing your damage with the crossbow by, 36%? It's pretty good. Then you want to come up here. Attack speed, 8% chance to blind, very good. And then grab this one as well, which increases our attack speed, and 15% chance to blind, very good as well. After that, I would say grab these. Sorry. Sorry about that. Alright, so then you're going to want to grab these, which basically increases our damage against uniques or rares. Rare or unique, sorry. And then grab this, which again is going to improve damage, accuracy, and chances to inflict against uniques and rares. Awesome. Grab these, really good abilities. So, after you've done that, we're basically going to come over here, and we're going to come this way. You basically, now, there are some skills here. These are good to grab, but I wouldn't grab them straight away just yet. You want to at least wait until after you've grabbed a sorcery ward, and that means you have to do Act 3, the Temple of Chaos, I think it's called. You do that, and then once you grab sorcery ward, then you can start to grab this stuff, because that's when you really need to increase that evasion rating. Right now, though, you want to, what my opinion is, you want to come all the way this way. Right? This is nice because, evasion rating, shock duration, blind effect. Good gem. You want to basically, for this build, anything that increases shock and evasion, or life, is basically what we want. Then grab this because, again, more elemental damage, which is really good. I just grab strength here for a little extra life, and I need it for gems, and then you want to grab all of these, 50% magnitude, shock duration, not small amounts though, 20%, that's 40% right there. And then grab here, 50% increased shock duration. So, I mean, just look at that, 20%, 50%. It's a pretty huge increase. And then grab this as well. Again, mana regeneration and magnitude of shock that you inflict. And increase your magnitude. This set of nodes are really good. You want to grab them as well. And then just, grabbing the jewel socket as you need. They're not... Jewels are great, but they're not required. So it's totally up to you whether you waste your time going after them or not. Okay, so once you've done that, what I would recommend that you do is come up here, and you want to start to move into the monk tree. Now, at first, I would move down here, go up and grab this, because as you can see, increases shock chance, and then this one, 40% increased chance of shock, increases attack and cast speed with lightning skills. Again, really good. You can grab these as well if you want. They're probably not as critical, but they're nice if you want them. It's up to you. Once you've done that, then I would come over this way. We want to grab this one, which again increases movement speed, mana regeneration, and gives us a bit of extra dex and intelligence. Again, evasion, energy shield, evasion, energy shield, evasion, energy shield. Really good. Once you get sorcery ward, you want to grab those skills. Then this, again, more attack speed, dex, intelligence. And then here, because we want more chances to shock and do lightning damage. And that's pretty much the build. Now, there's obviously other things you can do. But you pretty much at this point, we just want to keep improving evasion rating, energy shield. Evasion rating, energy shield. Evasion rating, energy shield. They're basically the attacks that we want to be grabbing at this point. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go to Act 3. And we will go... I feel like there's enemies here all the time. I just want to show you the basic of how this build works and what it should look like when it's working. It does take about to the end of Act 3 for it to really come together. But once it comes together, it's fucking good. Alright, so first off, we're going to run and try to find. Look how fast we move. Very nice. Good movement. Alright, so as you can see, we've got Galvanic Shields equipped. Look at that. To be fair, we are a little over leveled, but as you can see, like, it's dropping. This is pretty much how the build should work. And that's pretty much it. That's the build. Like, this is literally all we're doing. If you want, you can mark him. And he does that explosion as well, which infects shocked and stuff to other enemies, which is good. Okay, see how, look how many there are? Oh, I don't know how that shock happened. I didn't press fire. Anyway, as you can see, lightning comes down, does really good damage. Very cool. Alright, again, literally all we're doing is shocking. What I might do is I might actually see if I can beeline it to a boss. And just show you... I'm just trying to remember where an easy one to find is. So, sorry if this takes a little bit to find. If I was going to do this properly, I'd probably like pause it. Or, I guess if I was going to edit the video, I would like cut. But at least this way we can run through and show you how the build works. It's very simple build. It's literally just a one button type build where we're literally just running through, smashing, crashing, door dashing. Where we're basically, yeah, just firing everything. And that's literally all we are doing. Like, look at that. And then you see all that smoke on the, like, the stuff on the ground? That's helping refill our energy shield. That's being done by Grim Feast. Which is probably more of like a witch skill. But again, there's nothing stopping you from using any ability for any build. It's just that certain skills are designed better for other certain skills. And that's okay. I'm realizing that the boss I'm going after is probably not a good example for showing you how this works effectively. But I'm hoping that we're high leveled enough, at least, because the boss that is here, he runs away a lot. So it's not great for showing you the power of this build. But my hope is that when we fight him, I'll be so OP that at least I can kind of demonstrate how the build should work when everything is aligned. But as you can see, like, to be fair, we are over-leveled for this area, right? Okay, well, actually, here's a unique, so I'll see if I can demonstrate it. Alright, so we've been... Oh, no, he's dead. Ooh. Got some Regal Orbs, got some of that. So at least that's good, you know? Like, not a complete waste, getting some currency, which is good. You have to forgive the lag. I play in Australia. Sometimes it's really good and no problems, and other days it's just fucking lag galore. Yeah, it's really annoying, and it kind of does let the game down a bit, but it is early access, and I'm sure they're working on it, so hopefully with each patch, those problems will get improved. So excited to see what the future of the game holds. Okay, make sure you remember to reload as well. Make sure we grab the checkpoint, just in case the boss dies. Alright, first off, make sure you're fully reloaded. Okay, we're going to go here. So here's the boss. First thing you want to do is we're going to do this to break his lightning resist, banging, and then look at this. Like, look at that damage. Look at that damage that we are doing now. Bang. Now, we are a bit over-leveled, right? Fair enough. However, look how much damage we just did, and we ate this motherfucker. That's how good this build can be when it works. Now, that being said, early on, this build fucking sucks a dick. Because against bosses, it can be really challenging. Because there isn't a lot that you can do when it comes to improving skills to do more damage. But if you keep upgrading it massive, you can definitely make this build work. If this is interesting to you and you want to give it a go, do. There's a lot of guys online that you can help, other videos. This is a good build. I highly recommend it. And I think that's everything for the build. I don't think there's anything else you really need to know. So that's our mercenary. So those are our two main builds that I've spent a lot of time on. Well, I'll show you... I've got a couple other builds on the go. I haven't really done too much on them in comparison. Like the Witch we haven't really started. But I've done a bit of the Monk. I haven't done much of the Ranger. But I'll show you my other two builds. Which is my Sorcerer, my Monk. And then I'll give you... I plan to do a Ranger. And I want to do a Poison build. And make it all Poison. Because Poison is actually really good in this game. You just got to have a good build to make it work. Now. This is my Sorceress. We are currently on Act 3. She is not bad. Currently, she's level 38. Okay, if we look at her gems, basically, the way to play this build is you want to grab a Spark, which will, like, send projectiles all over the screen. It's really cool. And then Firewall, and they're pretty much your bread and butter. You've got a couple of other skills that, like, help do damage and stuff like that, but that's pretty much all you want to do. It's actually not a hard build to play at all. It can be a bit challenging because you're super dependent on Energy Shield, as you can see from these, like Energy Shield, Energy Shield, Energy Shield, Energy Shield, Energy Shield. With Ruins, again, we just want more resistances, and you can't put Ruins into these, which is unfortunate, but you want to keep getting better ones, keep upgrading, keep getting better, all that kind of stuff. So that's really important. Oh, can I use this now? What's our int? Oh, I can use it now. Sucked in, motherfuckers. What? Oh, right. I always forget that because it's dropping my int back down. Motherfuckers. Alright. When it comes to passives, I've only done the first one at this point, but basically we want more mana. Arcane Surge, which basically does cast speed, mana regeneration, which is good, and then eventually you can take these, but we'll probably grab this. Again, it's going to improve our shock. These, you want energy... basically, of all the nodes, you basically want is energy shield, and anything that's going to give you more lightning damage, which is really good. So you want to go up this way, probably go here, grab these nodes, come this way, grab them, come back, grab these two, and then from there, we're slowly going to make our way up here and grab these, grab some of them, and then we'll make our way around and come this and back around and grab these nodes as we go. But basically what we're trying to do is lightning damage, shock, energy shield. It's basically all the nodes that we're trying to grab for this particular build. I will quickly show you how this works. Not going too in depth, just because this is obviously a work in progress type build. When it comes to like our spells, again, like the main ones that you need to know are Firewall and Spark. Again, Project Pierce, because we want our sparks to go through everything. Arcane Surge, again, this is helpful. We probably don't need this anymore. Actually, you can swap it out with something else, because now we've got it permanently through our ancestral tree. And then we just got Racing Tempest, which basically gives us 12% more elemental damage, which is what we want. And Firewall, we basically just want 50 less damage with hits. The wall from the supported skills are created into circles instead. And the circles are really good. Energy Barrier just helps with your energy shield and stuff. And then Spell Saccade. Is that a target? Also additional either side of channeling. Random chosen axis cannot support channeling. Support skills trims on this area effect. And that's basically what it does. And those are the two main skills. So I'm going to show you how this build works. Now, we've got a couple of different abilities that you can use. I'll see if I can find a bunch of enemies. Okay. So, and that's Spark right now. And as you can see, look at that damage. Look at it, just eat them. But that's only one step. So what we want to do now is go Firewall. It's got to go around them. Now we do Spark. And what Spark is doing is it's going through the fire, inflicting fire damage, and it's doing shock and lightning damage, which is great. Really, really good. The thing you have to look out for, though, is because we are a little squishy, Energy Shield is our main protection. As you can see, our life is not very high, but we've got pretty decent numbers for Energy Shield. So that's fun. And that's pretty much the build. We've got a couple of other skills that you can use. Like, as you can see, got a bomb here, which does, like, frost. We've got this, which is a fire orb. It's really good for just inflicting fire damage, especially in the middle of a horde. We've got this, which then, this is, like, orb of... I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's helping with channeling of more lightning and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got Tempest, Mana Tempest, which you sit here and you fire that out, and it basically increases the damage of the spells while you're inside the smoke. And then once you leave, it goes away, or once your mana's gone. And that's basically the build. And that's pretty much how we're going to run it the whole time playing it. It's a little bit of a one-click build, but it's fun enough. It's pretty cool. There's nothing really specific that you need to know for running it, but just know it is fun, it is worthwhile, but it can be challenging. So again, that's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's up to you to what you decide to do and how you decide to play the character. But yeah, if you're interested, give it a go. Definitely worth having a try. Fun build, really cool. Now, I'm gonna show you one more character, because started playing this more, and it's actually a really fun, really cool build. So let me show you. I'm going to show you the Monk. Very, very cool build. Hopefully this will load any minute. Alrighty. So, we have the Monk. So, the Monk is basically a melee elemental specialist. To start, I'm going to show you gems. So, early on in the game, you're going to use Quarterstaff Strike, basically for the first 14 levels. You want to have Rage and you want to have Martial Tempo in here. These are going to be really good. Allow you to do decent damage. As you can see, if I move that there, 116, not bad. But then we want these here for Ice Strike, which is your replacement, level 14. Now, I don't have them here anymore, so I'll have to show you at the stash. But basically, once you hit level 14, what you want to be running is Ice Strike, Tempest Bell, Frozen Locust, Glacial Cascade, and then Herald of Ice. Herald of Ice works the same as Herald of Thunder, but instead it focuses on ice attacks rather than focusing on lightning attacks. So we've got Glacial. So I'll show you this. So first off, you got Glacial Cascade, a bit of range, throws out that. It gives you a little bit of range. It's not a awesome skill in the sense of the actual game, but it's worth keeping because it allows you to do pretty decent, give a bit of range and more flexibility to the build. Okay, so as I could show you, bang, inflect some. As you can see, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it's nice if you want a bit of range. Next skill now. Oh, actually, so Ice Strike. Yeah, Ice Strike is our main one. As you can see, it inflicts frost. Really good for hordes. But basically the main idea of it is you go 1, 2, 3. It freezes them and then it shatters. Really cool ability. Powerful, fun. You can probably run this skill for the whole game. It's probably going to be one of our major skills. Okay, next thing that you've got is you've got Frozen Locust. So I'll see if I can find some enemies and show you how that works. Okay, hit that, freezes, and then we're going to just do Ice Strike, Ice Strike, Ice Strike. Maybe move back, throw down a Tempest Bell, bang down on the Tempest Bell, as you can see. Now, that was just a quarter strike. That last hit just then killed him, even on the level it is now. But basically, the way we run the build is we go that. Ice Strike, Ice Strike, Ice Strike. Make sure you heal. But pretty much, the bread and butter of this build is we want to Ice Strike everything. Now, when we get surrounded, throw down the bell. Smack the bell. Which also does ice damage. Try not to stay in the bleed stuff. And that's pretty much the build at this point. Now, we are only level 15, right? So this is fairly early into this build. But as you can see, we're not doing bad damage. We're doing very good. So definitely a fun build. I'll show you, go back to the camp and just show you some of the other skills. Mainly just if you're like, oh, I want to start that, what's the starting line? And I'll show you the starting line for the first couple of skills that you should take. So the first thing you want to do is I will show you gems. So let's say, I don't know, 6? Okay, well, they're not colored, but I'll show you anyway. For the first 14 levels, what you want to be running is Falling Thunder, Killing Palm. Pretty much the strat that you run is use your quarterstaff to do damage. When you get them to low health, there's a little blue icon that appears. Hit them with Killing Palm, which will then kills them straight away. You get like a little power orb. You then use Falling Thunder and it enhances it. So instead of it being like a bang, it becomes a attack. You will run that till level 14. Once you've run that, you then will replace that with Ice Strike. And then you'll get rid of these two skills. And pretty much after that, for the rest of the game, I'm not sure what other skills we're going to be running. I'd have to look at my actual planner. Bear with me. Well, we'll see what other skills. This is sorry, yeah. So the other one is just Charge Staff. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Would just be Wave of Frost, Charge Staff, Combat Frenzy, and Herald of Thunder. Are pretty much the only other stuff that you want to be running. So, Wave of Frost. Just, I guess, sending out a Wave of Frost. Charge Staff. stuff, which is down here. Consumable power charges, basic, yeah, electricity damage. Combat frenzy, which is... Am I blind? It could be in another... Unless it's a spirit gem. I have used other builds. If I go all and go com... Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's a spirit gem. Yeah, so you see that's pretty good, but obviously you use the spirit, and then Herald of Thunder is pretty good to take as well. When it comes to the gear, we basically want to be doing evasion and energy shield mostly, and increasing mana and stuff, because a lot of this stuff is intensive. Physical damage is what you want for this build, and that's pretty much it. The only other thing, I guess I'll show you the passive tree. So as you go, you're starting as a monk. We haven't gone too far into it, but basically you want evasion rating early, then a bit of mana regen, more evasion up here. This gives you more crit chances. Then what we're going to do for now is run down here, grab this, more stuff for physical damage, run down here. There are a few different nodes we'll have to grab. I'm not sure which ones exactly at this point. Like mana regeneration could be good. This stuff, again, quite good as well. Attack speed, damage. So there are a few different nodes you could go down. There's this, again, power frenzy, that stuff's quite good. There are other different stuff like attack speed. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can go do. But for the build, this is more an ice damage build as its priority. Right? Then you will, its main thing is doing ice and ice damage. And then once you've done that, you can do a bit of like lightning damage as extra. Probably not fire. I don't think any of our skills are going to be fire based, but for the most part, it's all going to be ice. Yeah, I think that's and that's the builds. I think that's basically all the builds that I've done at this point. My main goal is to try to get again and get him to end game, get her to end game. Probably then start working on a poison build. But right now, my main focus is going through endgame maps with my mercenary, playing this guy, who's a lot of fun, and playing, maybe even trying at the witch a little bit, who's quite cool. I love the fact that like your gear, as you equip it, or weapons as you change stuff out, reflects it, and the background location tells you where you are, like what act you're in. It's really cool. But yeah, loving POE 2, 100% recommend it. Definitely should play it if you're interested. Anyway, I'm going to call this a wrap. This has been a very long video. If you've made it through it, awesome. If you can't, no stress. Anyway, if you like the video, like it, let me know. I can try to make more content, maybe different stuff. I'm not sure. I probably won't have time for it anyway, but who knows? We'll see. We'll have to see how we go. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one. Peace!